Hi everybody, welcome to Mission 5, Lesson 11. Today our goal is to show equivalence using a tape diagram and a number line. So what we're going to do today is look at how different equivalent fractions fall on a number line between 0 and 1. And we first are going to mark the half point on our number line. So when we have half, we're dividing our number line into two equal parts. And that middle line we just created is 1/2 in the middle, two equal parts that separate 0 and 1. Now what we're going to do is find an equivalent fraction, or 2, for 1/2. We know that 2/4 is equal to 1/2, and 4/8 is also equal to 1/2. So we're going to be using this number line to divide it into 4 equal groups in fourths and 8 equal groups in eighths, and show where the equivalence is between these fractions. So first we're going to start with fourths. We know that 0 is really just 0/4, and we're dividing it. That's our first fourth, or 1/4. Then we're going and dividing it into our next fourth, which is 2/4. We then have a third part, which is 3/4. And our last fourth of our whole is 4/4. So we have 4 equal parts, and they're each fourths. Now we're going to divide our number line into 8 equal parts, or eighths. First I'm going to see where my 0 is. I know that I have 0/8, and I'm going to divide it and find my equivalent fraction. 1/4 is equal to how many eighths? Well, we know that 4 times 2 is equal to 8. So we're going to do the same thing that we did to the bottom to the top. So 1 times 2 is equal to 2. And we know the equivalence of 1/4 is 2/8. So I'm going to make 2 equal parts between 0/4 and 1/4. And that middle part is going to give me 1/8. I'm dividing my whole into 8 parts. And I know that between each part is 2 equal parts. And now I'm going to fill in my blanks where my ends meet. So 0/8, and then we have 1/8, then 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. So just going up by 1/8 each time. 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8, or a whole. So we divided this whole part into 8 equal parts. Now we're going to look at our number line between 0 and 1 and divide it into 3 equal groups, or thirds. So we know that each group will be worth a third, or have thirds in the denominator. So 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. Now I'm going to divide it into smaller parts, or sixths, to find equivalent fractions. So we know that 3 times 2 gives me 6. So I'm going to be finding 2 parts between my thirds. 1, 2, 1, 2, because I'm finding sixths, 2, 2 more parts to find my sixths. So the first sixth we have is 0 sixths. Then we have 1 sixth because they're going up by a sixth every time. 2 sixths, so 1/3 is equivalent to 2 sixths. 3 sixths, or 1/2. 2/3 is equal to 4 sixths. Then 5 sixths. Then a whole is 6 sixths. Now let's see how we can compare these using a fraction strip. First, what I'm going to do is draw and mark my fraction strip into thirds. So there's my first third and my second third. I'm going to shade it in so you know that 3/3 is equal to 1 whole. Now I'm going to show my sixths. So here's my first sixth, 1 sixth, 2 sixths, and that's equal to 1/3. 2 sixths is equal to 1/3. 2 more sixths. You do 4 sixths, 5 sixths, 6 sixths, or a whole. So to see equivalence, we have 1 sixth and 2 sixths, and that gives me 1/3. 3 sixths, which is a half. We've made it to the halfway. Now we have 4 sixths, or 2/3 now. 5 sixths, and 6 sixths, or a whole.